we welcome the night.
Welcome to Horror Night Oasis, a radio show where we discuss all the latest movies and news from the world of horror. At the moment, I'm waiting for Ian to call in, but until then, here we are with our next installment of our Harvest of Death Marathon. Ian, are you ready for tonight's film?
Yes, I am. I accidentally called the wrong number.
Yeah, that old switchboard number. But yeah, we are on our next film. Yeah, you do. But it's there just in case, but I can always give it to you, no problem. But yeah, we are going to continue on this Harvest of Death Marathon, and because we got tonight's film and next week's film, and then we can go on to our Christmas Marathon, which I've already seen a couple movies that I'm picking for that marathon. Of course, we'll go back and forth on what will actually be discussed for that marathon. But yeah, we are continuing on Harvest of Death with Scarycrows. A short film. It was very short. Seems like it was shorter than last week's film almost. But yeah, Scarycrows it says comedy horror, and it's a little bit like a little comedy in there. I mean, I didn't really laugh too much, but it's very sort of dry in the comedy department. But nonetheless, the idea or the synopsis for Scarycrows, because again, it's an hour and 10 minutes, so you have to get to the point pretty quick, and they kind of do. It does take its time with some character development or just ideas early on that kind of just meanders around a little bit before things start to happen with the Scarycrows. But we are introduced to Amy, and I forgot her friend's name. I didn't write it down. And Amy is a budding hairstylist for this small community in London, I believe. And she has a boyfriend, and let me try to get this, because there's not that much story-wise here. So her and her friend, she's a hairstylist, and the annual Scarycrow Harvest party festival is right around the corner. It's a few days away, and her hairstylist elder is named Donna, and she's sort of a bitch. but she's very like adamant, like because one hairstylist leaves, and then she gets another hairstylist. His name is Declan, and he's a gay guy, and he does wonders on hair. And her boyfriend, Amy and her boyfriend are trying to have sex, and every time they try, they get interrupted. The first time by their mother, and then the second time because he has keys to the house, to one of the houses, because his father is like a renovator of the house, and they get in trouble there, and they get walked in on as well. And then the boyfriend brings up, let's leave and go to London. Let's go to the big city. Nothing's going to happen here. And so we're introduced to them, and then a bunch of other offbeat characters. There's like a couple that like came in for the festival, and like they've been gone, and like the girlfriend of that couple is like a high-end girl. And then you have like the music geek that wants to like start a band, but it's like a one-man band, and like he's going around singing and doing like crazy, wee guitar solos and drumming, and he's the music for the festival. So all that's going on. And then we have Casey, who was in an accident, and she's wheelchair bound and sort of not there in a sense. She's just not there. But we'll get into her character a little bit later. And soon, the festival starts happening, and all these characters are interconnecting and talking, and conversations don't really lead nowhere until when things start to go down later in the film, which again is like when the film's almost over, basically, when everything starts to go down and storylines start to intersect and things start to happen and get revealed. And the Scarycrows, might as well get into that. I mean, it's the main reason we're here. Is they're called Scarycrows, not Scarecrows. And the lore for the Scarycrows, there's the PC version and the non-PC version. Basically, I guess I'll go into both versions. So the PC version is there used to be, settlers on the side of the banks in London during the war, and the women, while their men were gone, put scarecrows, and that, when the armies, came to basically pillage or do all that stuff, it scared them away. And so every year since then, we put them up in honor. And that's the PC version, And then the non-PC is that the armies came, killed the women, and one of them was a witch, and she put a spell on the scarecrows, and it started killing the army men. And then that's the actual truth version. And so every year they put the Scarycrows up in, as I guess an honor decoration, whatever, for this festival. And this turnaround this year, all the Scarecrows at the festival start coming to life. And again, they're just normal, like, potato sack filled with hay, drawn on faces. They all have like a unique face, and they all look different. And slowly every single one of them come to life and start attacking certain people. And that's the gist of the movie. And overall, compared to what we've watched so far, I had fun with this one, and it was the best of the three. Well, again, of what we've watched, because it was short, it was simple, and again, I liked the way that the Scarycrows looked and the way they acted. It was almost like Resident Evil 4 people. How the characters or the townsfolk in that village act when like they're coming after you. They just have that slow walk, and then they're fast when they get to you. And that was one thing I was like I could compare them to. Of course, I like the look of the Scarecrows, like I said. It had some decent gore. I thought this was going to be one of those movies, sort of like the 80s film, the Scarecrows, where like they pull out like, because he said the tagline is "Straw is the new gore," or something like that in the tagline and the poster. So I'm assuming, I thought like they're going to use like straw to like pull people apart. And they sort of do that a little bit with, like, the Scarecrows, but not like the people. but there's like some, fingers getting chopped off. There's like some beheadings, and so it does good in that department. It's better than I thought it was going to be. I mean, it's very, quick cuts, so you don't really get a good look at everything, but it's there when it's needed. And then again, the last act, the last 45 minutes when things start to go down, it's pretty fun. Seeing all the Scarycrows go ballistic on people, chasing them through places, and then the showdown, and then the reveal of the reasoning behind the Scarycrows, and the final battle between them all as they're running through the garbage plant disposal area. I thought that was pretty fun, and again, the way that they looked and how they acted. I mean, it wasn't too bad of a film. Like I said, it's short and cohesive, to the point. I didn't really feel like it dragged too much. I mean, there's again a lot of character development for a film that's like 70 minutes, and it doesn't really go anywhere precisely. It's just like, oh, here's this person, here's that person. It's just again set up to be killed later on. And it's just, again, it's very simple, to the point, straightforward, and I didn't mind it. As I said, it's better than, it had a good plan, and it stuck to it, and I think it, hit the landing pretty well, again, compared to the previous two films. This one wasn't bad, and it's pretty, again, it's like, you want a slasher Scarecrow, this is definitely the one. I mean, again, it's not perfect, but if you want, like, a decent short watch, it's kind of fun, and interesting. I mean, the plot's been done sort of before in various ways, but I liked it enough to it was an entertaining watch, and I can't really say too much else about it. It was decent. It was a fun watch, and I enjoyed the look of the Scarycrows and decent blood and some gore, and it was like, again, it wasn't a bad watch. Ian, your thoughts?
I really did have fun with this movie, probably because, honestly, I'll probably remember this movie for a little while. The other two movies, I absolutely blanked out. Like, I barely remember anything about the other two movies. And so I'm glad that we got a fun one. When you asked me, like, hey, which one you want to pick, I was like, both sound not good. I was actually expecting this to be even worse than the other two, and I was pleasantly surprised. So, I mean, I personally felt like it dragged on a little bit too long in the beginning, but once it hit, like, because I was watching looking at the time, trying to figure out when everything was going to start happening. I'm like, okay, I'm this far into it. And, like, I think it was, like, right at 35 minutes, that's when, like, you got the first, like, neck snap from the Scarecrow and with your group. And I was like, okay. I wasn't expecting that. Like, I was kind of, like, expecting just, like, one at a time. Like, oh, what was that movie we watched? I don't know. It was an old Scarecrow movie. A couple of years, either last year or the year before. But yeah, anyway, either way. I wasn't really sure what was going to happen or how it was going to get executed, but I'm glad that it was like, because like you said, like Resident Evil, I got a very strong zombie vibe from that. And I was like, yes, I didn't think that I would want a zombie-like Scarecrow movie. And I was really surprised by that, and I kind of guessed the ending at the beginning of the film kind of gives it away, which is not really a spoiler because, it sets it up, especially after the whole explanation of the why the Scarycrow thing happened in the first place. But overall, it was fun. I did get a couple of laughs, but not really from the jokes themselves, just like how overacting some of the people were. And I don't know. It felt fun, and it did get kind of old about, like, the guy and the girl were, like, trying to find places to bang. And I was like, okay, we could have, you know, the first 2 times I felt like enough. I think they kept trying to go a little too much. But overall,
yeah, you kind of got that vibe, like when the second one comes along, like they're going to get caught again. They do, like, right then and there. Like, it's foreseen. You know, you can see a lot of things happening. Of course, it's not hard to predict. But I didn't mean to interrupt you. And go ahead with your thoughts.
No, you're fine. I'm just going to chase my tail. But yeah, no, I definitely would probably watch this again later on down the road when I want to watch another, like, Scarecrow movie or something. Because it was a fun, especially out of all the ones I've watched. This definitely was much better.
It's up there with it. I mean, like I said, it's not perfect, but if you want a decent Scarecrow movie, it's right there. I mean, I think it's decent watch.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it has a little slow start, but then once it hits, you know, as you said, Ian, that next snap, and that kind of starts the ball rolling, and then it just keeps going with you know, being chased by the Scarycrows. And again, it's always the way they make them out, and they're all decorated. So there's one with, like, Christmas lights on it, and then there's, again, the one with the scythe, one with an axe, and they're all very, you know, they all have
the dog.
goofy faces. Yeah, the dog. So it was fun, you know, seeing all the different varieties of Scarycrows.
When I saw the dog, I lost it. I almost woke my wife up because I was watching on my computer right next to my bedroom, and I laughed so hard that, like, she was kind of snoring a little bit. She stopped, and I was like, oh, shit. I was like, oops. Didn't mean to, hopefully, I'm glad I didn't wake her up, but no. I don't know. That dog killed me. I saw when you saw it in the wind, like, when they're going through, and I was like, oh, God, I hope that dog comes to life. And it did. And I was like, yes, that's amazing. But
yeah, I mean, overall, like I said, it's one of the better Scarecrow films. Again, not perfect, but as you said, Ian, it has a rewatchability to it as opposed to the other two, sadly. Because the other two, so again, even in years prior, you know, we're looking at, like, the Halloween Jack films, and here I'm bringing him up again. But again, the first Halloween Jack's okay. The second one, not so bad. I mean, it's not good, the first one, but it's definitely more so not Dark Night of the Scarecrow. But again, you can just watch Dark Night of the Scarecrow and get the same effect as the first Halloween Jack film. But yeah, this one, it's up there. I mean, again, it's so hard to find, like, a decent Scarecrow movie. I mean, we already had 2, and luckily we didn't strike out with the third one. But it's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't come out good. You know, I was, like, thinking back at the early 2000s when we had all those Scarecrow films with Scarecrow, Scarecrow Slayer, and Scarecrow Gone Wild. And I was like, God bless, man. That was a rough year. A rough time, especially if you watch Scarecrow Slayer. Like, oh, God. First Scarecrow, the one with Tiffany Shepis, it's okay. It's okay. It's not great, but it's better than the sequels that came out years later. But this one, I'm going off a cliff, just like going all these other things. But yeah, this one, it's not too bad. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward compared to the other two. It's just a simple stalk and slash people in a small community village, township, and decent gore. Again, what you see of it, I mean, there's, again, decapitation, and then you get to see the head on a fishing line, and then, like, the stoner, or I think he was the stoner, or he worked skateboarder. He comes along, he's holding it, and here you go, and then all the other, when they're taking the pictures and, like, doing the first place, second place of the Scarycrows, and then the Scarecrows, they come to life and kill one of the people there, judging them, and it was all fun, just decent, stupid, nothing stupid, but it's just like time, it goes by fairly quickly, and it's just straight to the point, no, deeper meaning like last week's film or something crazy like Scarecrow's Revenge. But you know, at least these have scarecrows killing people, you know, and it's straight to the point. And the look of the scarecrows are cool. The way they move and act were cool. And I didn't really have too much of a problem with this one, minus, again, it just takes a while to get things going. Other than that, like, again, acting was fine. Camera looked better than half the other two, you know, better than the previous two films. Even though this one looked like it was on a lower budget than the previous two. I don't even know. I usually go on budgets, but it's hard to tell because you can never know. They're all low budget, but this one just felt like it was just like had a better camera compared to the other two films.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, go ahead.
You could really tell, like, some of these people who were in this movie weren't really actors. Like, you could tell, like, it was just like it felt like a really nice passion project where, and they got the whole, a group of kids were like, hey, let's make this movie, and we would like the town to be a part of it. Because they did have a lot of people. They got a lot of people, and I felt like, a lot of these people were just doing this to help out. And I was like, this feels like they're all actually, belong to this town. And I think it was neat to see everything. But I always enjoy when you see that in movies. You're like, these people, you could tell, are just doing this because, and they're all seem like they're just enjoying what they're doing. And I think that's one of the things that really, struck out the most to me. My cat's going crazy right now. But with everything that's going on.
Yeah, they all really seemed to enjoy it, and it was just, again, like a fun little stalk and slash scarecrow movie, and everyone, even the scarecrows did their part. I mean, just, again, so the ways they all acted, you know, they sort of had the same vibe, but they were all acting sort of differently for each of their character, you know, of the Scarycrows, and it was just fun just seeing them act and go after people, and, you know, again, some of the gore, and it was just a nice, easy watch, and nothing really struck out as bad per se. I mean, it was again, pacing issues aside, I mean, it was a decent watch. I mean, I had fun with it. It was pretty. Again, I'm going around in circles chasing our tails here, Ian. It was to the point, and it was just a decent watch, and that's what you kind of want out of. You want to have a fun movie, And this was fun, minus a few pacing issues, and nothing really to question or bring up or terrible.
It was pretty open-ended.
Yeah. Nothing to really bash our head at the wall.
Exactly, and that's what I think the other two movies tried too hard to convey a message and tried too hard to just. I mean, that's pretty much, I guess, it. Just they just tried too hard with it, and they didn't really know where they were going. But this, it felt like they knew where they wanted to start with and how they wanted to end. And I'm glad that it
still
actually
a message in there too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and because you got the gay guy who comes in, he was from the big city, and talking about how he needed to change a pace and move to a small town, while you had the main character, what was his name? Adam? I wanted to say Adam. Why am I saying
her name was Amy. I forgot the boyfriend's name.
Yeah. I thought it was Adam. I don't know. Maybe he just looks like an Adam. And that's what I'm thinking. Whatever. No, not important. But he was when he was trying to get out of the small town, and it seemed like the girl Amy was kind of content where she was at. That secretly wanted more, and I liked that that there was it showed not just people who were just trying to leave their hometown, but how different perspectives. Like one person wants to go to the big city, and the other one wants to get away from the big city. And I enjoyed those that parallel storyline, and like how it's not just like, oh, leave your small town. It's find a better life for yourself, and being, and just going for it, and doing what
happiness.
makes that. Finding your own happiness instead of just like the story of you're not going to be happy until you leave your hometown, or your small hometown, because there's nothing for you in a small town. And because like I said, the gay guy, he left because there was nothing in the city for him, so he needed a smaller life. And I just like how that was just, it kind of like a balanced scale that I feel like some movies don't really do. Most people don't really talk about that. But I don't know. That was just a little personal observation from that.
It's a great observation. I mean, it's definitely one there that I guess not many people see, but it's definitely there, and it does show through. And I mean, overall, as we said, we're going to go around in circles. It's not a bad watch. It's one of the better Scarecrow films I think I've watched. And I've seen a lot of them. And again, it's the best one so far for this marathon. Who knows? It might be the best of the marathon, but we won't know until next week when we conclude our Harvest to Death marathon.
Are we doing it next week?
Oh, we might do it early if you want to. We can do it like a day or so early if you want to.
Yeah, probably do it Wednesday since I'm not really doing anything on Thanksgiving. I don't think really anybody.
We'll do it. Yeah, because we're still gonna do it. We'll do it Wednesday night or Tuesday night. You just tell me what's available offline, and we'll figure out a date, and we'll do it that day.
All right.
But we will conclude, fingers crossed, our Harvest to Death marathon to get ready for our Christmas marathon, which I forgot the title of the name of the Christmas marathon, but I'll find it. Yeah, we'll post it. This year, just like everything that you have planned, just cross it out. I mean, Wonder Woman 84 is coming to HBO Max now, so it's like, who the fuck cares?
On Christmas.
Yeah, on Christmas.
On Christmas.
But nonetheless, we're going a totally different tangent. It's just like, all this movie news, and again, theaters. I'm a movie guy. I love going to the theater.
I miss
seeing all these. Yeah, just seeing all this stuff, just like being postponed and going somewhere else. It really strikes a chord. Just like it sucks. But that's 2020. What do you expect? It's just never-ending poker being jabbed up your ass. But nonetheless, that's going to do it for this week. Ian, as always, it's great talking with you. I'm glad we managed to find a good one. Hopefully next week we'll find out. But thanks, everyone, for listening, and we will see you next time.
Good night.
Top reasons your career wants you to move to Ohio. So many amazing growth opportunities, high-paying jobs in technology, advanced manufacturing, engineering, life sciences, and more. You'll soar to new heights, just like the Wright brothers, John Glenn, even Neil Armstrong. Their careers all took off in Ohio, and yours can too. A job